Hello everyone, welcome, and welcome everyone to my YouTube channel. I appreciate everyone for coming out tonight and having this and giving me this opportunity to talk with you guys about some really big goals and just accomplishing your goals and dreams in life. With that being said, the main components of what I'm going to focus on with this talk tonight is going to be talking about your establishing goals for the new year, personal development, and then building wealth, financial wealth, establishing financial goals, and then also becoming the best version of yourself. So there's a lot of things that are going to be discussed about tonight that focuses on those things, and I'm really excited and motivated to help make a difference in you guys' lives through this opportunity. So with that being said, I'm going to start with just to give you guys a little bit more background about who I am. My name is Brandon Burbank, and I'm from Bellingham, Washington. And I'm here because I have a dream that I want to be able to grow as a person, personally develop myself, establish goals as an author, keynote speaker, and consultant, and then also content creator on YouTube. And my goal is to help motivate and inspire people that have had struggles in life and that are trying to become the best version of themselves. With that being said, it takes time, and it takes patience, commitment, dedication, hard work, and sacrifice. With my book that I wrote titled Come Back to Success, Relentless Commitment for a Better Tomorrow, I talk a lot about my struggles with bipolar disorder and mental health and everything that came with. And what I learned from it was that the biggest things that were getting in your way and with getting in my way was myself. And when I found that I could become the best version of myself by looking within, and rather than looking outwardly, but more inwardly, that life changed in an instant. And being able to recognize that I have these gifts and talents that I have been able to accomplish because of my life and just because of who I am. For example, in my book, I talk about my study abroad trip to Barcelona, Spain, and how it motivated me and elevated my game to accelerate my goals and my passion and vision for what I want to accomplish in my life. So those things are really vital for success, and having the ambition and the passion to want to succeed and grow as a person. Now, it might seem easier said than done, which of course it always is, especially when if you have other bigger goals like financial goals, which we all have. That's really where you start to look at within yourself and seeing what you can accomplish in this lifetime. So for me, being able to talk with you guys tonight about personal development, establishing goals, which I'm going to get into, because we're in January of 2022, and we're under a lot of pressure in life. There's a lot of things going on in our lives with COVID and just external things in this world that's going on. So how do we stay focused on ourselves to stay positive and to grow and to strive for our goals and dreams? Well, that's the $1 million question, folks. And really what I can tell you right now is that it's a matter of looking from within and seeing what you can accomplish and finding out what is making you tick, and finding out what is giving you that passion and that sense of direction in your life, that compass that's guiding you in this journey of life. Now, there's a lot of things that have happened in life because of struggles and because of just choices, and whether it be good or bad or and anything in between. But what I can tell you right now is that because you as a person every day have the opportunity to grow wherever you're at in your life, wherever that might be. I can say that because of my experiences going through mental health, being a product of the mental health system of Washington State. going through struggles with my hospitalizations, talking about the halfway house in Washington State that I went through, and how I turned my life around in such an astronomical but beneficial way, and what it did to myself and also to the people around me, and how people are learning that you can see success and reap the rewards of benefits of success when you really put your mind to it, and you believe it too. And there's a lot of really important things that I think are vital for that success and that development that you have to search from within. And being able to be what I say and what I do, backing that up with actions, is another component towards that success and how you can be the best version of yourself, reap those rewards of happiness, joy, financial wealth, accomplishing your goals. Those things are really, the word is, they're very powerful, and it's a testimony of your faith towards yourself, towards, for me, my God, my higher power, my calling, and there's a lot of things that I think are beneficial to make this world a better place, as well as to help others, and establishing goals. So establishing goals, though, for example, I'm a consultant, so I have clients that I work with directly. I'm helping them as a life coach and helping them become the best version of themselves right now, in present day. And what I do is, my approach as a consultant is to help people see what they can do within themselves, find what is making them tick, what their niche is, and how they can basically take that and implement it into their life. It takes time, it takes discipline, dedication, but you have to have the core belief within yourself in order to reap the rewards and be that person that you have in your mind, which I know all of you in this room, as well as in streaming tonight on my YouTube channel, you guys all have the power to change yourself and change the world. And just another example with my growth, moving from different places around the country. I decided back 2 years ago or so, I was like, well, I'm a car sales consultant in Burlington, Washington, and I'm telling myself, okay, I want to move to LA. I have the desire because I think I'll grow and I'll find a lot of contentment, a sense of purpose, and finding my direction, because I was constantly growing and feeling stagnant in my life and complacent. And let me tell you, folks, complacency is a dangerous place to be at in life, period. For example, when I got out of the hospital for the zillionth time, I was like in bed. Thanks to my parents supporting me, I was in bed for months, a couple of months actually, and without a job, just on disability, and trying to focus on what I can do to get out of this rut of the mental health that I was stuck in my life. And what that did to me was it changed my perspective, because there's a lot of people out there that might be able to relate to this, but I can tell you right now, the feeling of being stuck at home, literally on your ass, just sleeping daylessly, having no sense of direction and knowing what you want, that's uncomfortable. It's painful. It's unnecessary. It might be necessary because it's part of the growth, but I see now that I'm out of that mindset, and I'm in a new stage of my life in development as a person. It's giving me that ability to recognize that I have these skills and these skills and just a sense of purpose, a stronger desire to get what I want in life. And I know all of you guys in this room tonight have strong desires that are different than mine. We might be the same in some levels, but we might be different in other ways. But if you are able to recognize that and find out what what your niche is in your heart, I can tell you that your life will grow immensely, and you'll find that success is just on the horizon. It's also a matter of being in the present moment too. Here we all are tonight, four individuals, 5 individuals, and then YouTube, and we're just out here trying to grow and trying to find what is making us happy, what is giving us that sense of growth. So that's a good synopsis for more of who I am and what I'm about, what my business Come Back to Success is about, and how coming from nothing and turning lemons and turning it into lemonade. Also having the vision of thinking with the glass that's half full rather than half empty is another thing that I think is really powerful. And you all tonight inspire me because you help me see that life can change if you believe it and if you have the desire to. I'm going to move on to the next portion, which is financial wealth building. So in this book, it's over here. In this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, it talks a lot about how to build financial wealth and what that means for you, because you can benefit from this. You can benefit from the content that's inside this book. Famous author named Napoleon Hill. It was published in the early 1900s, and it just gives you the foundation work for building wealth and success in life. Now, for the two things that I'm going to talk about, which is from the couple first chapters 2 and chapter 3, which is desire and faith or belief. Those things all come together and create the foundation work of success and in your goals, in your life, and what you want to embody and be as a person. What you think is what you are. And that book is something that I think can help add value to your lives all tonight, because I can tell you right now it's helping me in my journey as I'm a sole proprietor, business owner that is living independently, renting still, focusing on my dreams and goals, and sacrificing countless hours and dedication of my time for something that I think is going to take my life to the next level, give me the insight and direction for what I want, and give me that sense of belief in myself. And then the other part, which is this. It's really, I'm going to give you 2 examples right now that focuses on how you can change your mindset so that you can start training your brain to want to be financially wealthy if you have the desire to, which is it right there. You have to have the desire to be wealthy or be successful in any type of way. If you don't have the desire, then you'll never get there. But, for example, last November I went to Circle Audi, an Audi dealership in Long Beach, California, and I did this because I had the mindset of wanting to have wealth, wanting to have income, and not have to have the peace of mind of having nice things that might not make you happy, but it just gives you that sense of security and that sense of accomplishment within yourself. And not to impress others, because that's not what I'm about, but I think to humble yourself and recognize that I've earned this. Now, there's a difference between getting something and earning it. So I think for me personally, having that sense of accountability and understanding that if you really take yourself to the next level and you want to elevate your game in life, you can do it. But that's just a foundation for the success and growth. And the other thing that I think is really powerful is in December, I went to a real estate open house in the California Heights neighborhood. And the house was priced at $979,000. Now, this was priced because I have the dreams and ambitions of being a homeowner in the future. And I know many of you tonight might have that same ambition. If you're still renting or wherever you're at in life, just having that sense of understanding of what you want is what takes your life to the next level. And I'm going to talk about the experience of going from the from the open house, it really helped me as a person and visualize what I want and having that mindset of I can attain it if I believe it and if I put in the work to get there. Now, there's a lot of people out there that don't see the belief or the growth in you like you do, and you have to find the passion from within, and nobody can do that but yourself. So it's a matter of basically taking that and taking it to the next level and implementing it into your life until eventually you have that become a reality. So as I wrap up this video, I want to say thank you all tonight for coming out for here we're at in Denny's in Norwalk, California, and just the goals and the vision that I have as I progress with my business, Come Back to Success. I think it's going to help change lives in a lot of ways, and it's going to help benefit our communities and also help people become more financially free and independent, and also becoming the best versions of themselves. Now, there's a lot of things that everything takes time, but if you have the belief to do it and you want to succeed, I can guarantee you that you can do it. So thank you so much for attending tonight, and
Brad?
Yes.
Well, first off, thank you for the not only words of motivation, but just positivity, words of affirmation, words of success. To be able to hear that from a peer, it's inspiring, and it's driving. Your passion is something that's kind of tangible. I don't only see it, I can feel it. So thank you for that. My question to you is, for myself, I can kind of look back and figure out when it started to click for me. Can you look back and try to pinpoint a time in your life where the vision might have started to click for you?
That's a great question. I would say for me, when I was in high school and I was basically training soccer, and I remember to myself, I was starting to plan ahead for moving to study abroad in Barcelona, Spain, and I knew that I was different than the regular person out there that's just focused on a lifestyle that might be different in a way and unique. And so what I did to put that into action was I trained a lot more with my soccer by myself, and I wanted to be the best soccer player on my team in the state, carry my team to the second state championship for my senior year. Now that never ended up happening, but what I ended up doing was I learned discipline because I had the goal at hand and I was starting to take action, massive action. And not only that, but then with my work experiences, saving up $7,000 cash to buy my first car, to pay off my study abroad fees by myself without help from family or friends, just from starting a business with selling cookies on the side to basically give people something to believe in myself, because I believed in it. And when that happened, I started to realize that I could change as a person and see how I can grow. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just if I can, a follow-up question. In your speaking, you talked about the one time in your life where you felt you were complacent. Do you I don't want to say, but did that complacency help drive your goals a little bit? Did you determine from that, this isn't what I want to do? Or what did that complacency kind of put you in the mindset of, or what did it do to your life?
The complacency, what it did was it forced me to move, to get out of the rut. Because when I realized that I wasn't getting anywhere by just making bad mistakes, moving from one thing to the next, and just doing things that weren't necessarily positive and that clouded my negativity, that also changed my dynamics with people, and understanding that you don't need to have everyone coming at you. You can be focused more on, okay, simple things, foundation work towards building empires.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for coming out tonight and speaking to us about this. I think it's important, especially going into 2022, right? Just coming out of we're in the pandemic, but also people struggling with like finding their place and like what they want to do and the direction they want to go in. And it seems like your book, kind of gives people a lot of tools for how to kind of flip that switch, right? And in terms of like this is the direction I want to take my life in. But I'm wondering, you mentioned earlier with the Hill book about that idea of desire and faith, right? And I'm wondering, in terms of like the application of a person who decides like, okay, like this is where I want to like, build up my career, or this is the career path I want to take, or maybe financial wealth is like the direction I want to take my life in. What is that like maybe in your own experience where you had sort of that desire for, to write this book or take your life in the direction that you have, and that element of faith play into it, would you say?
I would say it goes back to my personal beliefs, being a Christian and also just being raised in a wonderful community that's helped me grow and thrive as a person. What it did was it built a foundation work for my self-esteem, and that's what I failed to talk about in tonight's presentation. That some you kind of hit the gold mine right there by asking that question, because the self-esteem part is something that we all need in order to be happy in life. And if you aren't happy or have that self-esteem, the faith part goes with it and it intertwines, because you have that thing that's giving you that calling and that's drawing you towards something that moves mountains.
Follow-up question. You mentioned a couple of different areas that you like, how you kind of got in that direction of moving on your path. You mentioned selling cookies, right, and saving up and paying off the loans, not getting help from parents. What would you suggest to someone who is like asking themselves like, what is that first step for me? Like maybe they're not a good baker, or maybe they're not good at savings. Like how would you maybe give them that the tools to think about like, well, what are some opportunities for me to pursue to get the assistance I need, whether it's financially or career wise or anything?
That's another great question. I would say try new things. If you don't try new things and branch out and see what the world is all about, see what you have to offer as a person, you might have skills that I mentioned earlier that are different than mine. You do, I guarantee that. And if you test the waters in life, and like an example, reinforcing my move from my motivating goals to move from Bellingham, Washington to Seattle, Washington, and then to LA and Long Beach, which I'm currently living in. That is something that I think gives that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
Yeah.
Another
Sure.
for kind of to piggyback off his question, that was a great question, by the way. Folks who are, like I said, who are kind of like, who may be lost or who need guidance, is there anything in the book that can help maybe guide them with the first step, or is there anything in the book to I don't know, suggest a first step or even avenues to pursue or anything?
The first step is, in my book, my story of going from struggles with mental health is something that at the age of 18, 19, that's when I started to struggle with mental health. Coming back from studying abroad in Barcelona, Spain, I went into the deepest depression of my life. And it flipped the switch in my life as things got difficult in my life, and how I had to learn how to adapt to the realities of life, and how my conceptions of how life were with my upbringing totally were just flipped upside down. And so, but to more that's I think that like focuses more on the question with what's the first step for success. And for anyone out there, that's a hard question.
Yeah.
I'm still on that journey myself.
Yeah.
And so being able to enjoy yourself in what you're doing and finding the contentment with what you love, go out and do it.
Yeah.
Just like when Nike says, just do it. So is there any other questions tonight? Okay, well then that wraps up tonight's speech, and thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up.